Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender. The 7 Hermetic principles teach the mechanics of the cosmos. They teach the underlying principles behind cosmology and behind the transformation that occurs in the universe. And the thing is, since our own alchemical process, our own transformation, is simply a reflection of the universe's transformation, if we understand the cosmic principles of transformation, we can understand how to apply those to our own psycho-spiritual transformation, and thus how we transform not just ourselves individually, but also how we transform the world through our mission. And so I want to break down the 7 Hermetic principles in plain English. I have no clue how long this is going to take. Might be quick, might not be. Who knows? Let's have some fun. Hold on, let me finish my coffee real quick. This bitch is probably cold as fuck. Cold as fuck. My bad. I already finished, but, like, cheers for drinking some coffee with me. I'm not drinking anymore. Yeah. Principle 1. Mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. Or as the Renaissance mystics would say, omne est mens, universum mentale est. The Hermetic principle of mentalism is the foundation of the Hermetic sciences. Because without understanding this core principle of the universe, that matter is actually a manifestation of mind, you'll always be stuck in this loop of cause and effect, never able to actually make change because you'll be too busy focused on the physical. And although the physical plane has causal power, its causal power is subordinate to the causal power of the mind. I actually have a visual that would show this pretty well. Peep that. This is the cause and effect loop that happens in the cosmos. This is the first cause that kicks everything in. This is God. Or ontology, if we're looking at a microcosm of this. Most people stay in this, like, loop, and they never break out of it because they never put awareness on the cycle. They never realize that every thought they have is not just a reflection of what they believe, but also a reinforcer of the belief. So it's an effect, right? A reflection of the cause, but it's also a reinforcer. It's another cause itself. See what I'm saying? The universe is mental. And when I say that, I don't mean that the universe is just like cold mind. What I mean is that consciousness, intelligence, is the very substrate of reality. The universe is infinite intelligence made manifest. That infinite intelligence, I like to call it love. You can call it whatever you want. Right? Call it God, call it the Tao, call it the source, the infinite. Who cares? I sure as hell don't. Your name for the absolute, for the ground of being, is irrelevant. The Jedi like to call it the Force. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? What matters is that that source is all that it is. That is all that exists. It's one unified reality. And since everything is just different manifestations of mind, of mentality, and really when I say mind, I mean consciousness, I mean infinite intelligence. The finite mind is really just a finite expression of this infinite mind, this infinite awareness of God, this infinite intelligence of the source. We have an ability to manipulate reality, right? That's what alchemy is. Alchemy is changing something from one state into another, but you can only change that which is like. It's like ice to steam. Ice and steam is all one thing, H2O. It's about the rate of vibration, the density. Ice has denser particles. They're compact. They're not really moving as quickly, if they're moving at all, right? Of course they're moving, but gas has more space between the density, between the particles. It's moving very quickly. Consciousness works the exact same way. Consciousness is spirit, immaterial. Matter, physicality, is ice, dense, frozen. And so you can think of your external world as frozen consciousness. And your external world is that frozen consciousness. It's a reflection of your interior consciousness, made exterior. It's a reflection of your steam being made into ice. That's what this external reality you're living in is. And when you understand that all is mind, that means that you can change the ice by changing the steam. You can change the physical by first changing the metaphysical. What is the metaphysical? What does the inner world consist of? Your mindset, your beliefs, your emotional state, your emotional regulation, your focus, your perception, your awareness. Your metaphysical senses and where you put that energy towards are what create your inner world. That inner world is what creates your outer world. And so the first Hermetic principle of mentalism, showing that cosmically, the universe is a mental creation of God, as everything is, allows us to correspond to our Creator, which we'll get into the next one, and wield our own mentality to create change in the universe. Now, the gap, the difference between the finite mind of man and the infinite mind of God is only in degree of power, not in nature. The mind of man is finite. And the thing is, the mind of man possesses infinite potentialities, and it wields infinite potentialities. However, it has one reality to actualize, one reality it can create, its own. You can't change someone else's world. You can sure as hell change yours, though. You can't change how someone else sees the world and lives in it, but you can change how you see the world and live in it. And if you can help someone change how they see the world, well, yeah, you could help someone live in a different world. But you're not taking them from world A to world B. What you're doing is giving them a different pair of glasses so that world A becomes world B. When you change how you see the world you see changes. In the productivity space, people always talk about, in like entrepreneur success space, people always talk about mindset being everything. It's because the whole game is mental. Perception is the prerequisite. Awareness is the prerequisite to action. If you can't see something, you can't know it. If you can't know it, what can you do about it? And so constantly expanding your awareness, constantly learning, expanding your mind, is how you continue in your development of constantly changing your reality. And if there's a new reality you want to step into, you have to first step into that mentally. This is why books are so powerful. Books are like, someone took like 2 to 20 years of wisdom and distilled it into a text that can be consumed in like 3 to 8 hours. It's like, do you understand how fucking high leverage that is? That shit is crazy. You can literally download someone's earned mindsets without having to pay the price. It's fucking sick, dog. This is why education is so important, because it helps us evolve quicker as a species. Your individual human flourishing, when you share it, it allows other human flourishing to exist at less of a cost. This is how we all help each other grow and evolve. And so mentalism is a key foundation to the Hermetic sciences and to the art of mental alchemy. The all is mind, the universe is mental, and so all can be manipulated mentally. Principle 2, correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. The principle of correspondence shows that across levels of reality, the same patterns play out. They correspond. The planes look the same. They act the same. They behave the same. Think of a magnet. A magnet has a north and a south pole. It has its own electromagnetic field. And when a magnet gets close enough to another magnet that's inverse, they start getting hot and spicy, and then they come together. And that coming together creates a greater electromagnetic field than either one could have produced on their own. This union of poles, of inverses, comes together and creates something greater. That's polarity at the electromagnetic level. What about polarity in sexual intimacy? Well, man comes together with woman, and the thing is, this doesn't have to be man and woman, of course. And the field of greater experience, greater desire, shared experience, shared desire, that is something created by them that is greater than any one of them could have made individually. The best example, and the easiest one, I mean, is just like what happens biologically. Sperm and egg meet, baby now here in womb. You know what I mean? When these inverses that are of the same, right? Two magnets, two humans, but they're opposite. Yin and yang. When they come together, it creates the potential for a greater field to be created. A greater electromagnetic field for the magnets, the field of like the relationship for the people, or like the family. A relationship is bigger than either of the two parts. A family is bigger than just the people in it. It's a different entity that exists beyond the parts. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a greater wholeness that is generated because of this coming together of the parts. Correspondence shows us that the mechanics of the universe, polarity, the creative process, ontology to cosmology to ethics, like the pedagogical process, whatever it is, the causal process, all of these different mechanical operations in the universe play out the exact same way at all the levels, which is why I can translate principles at one level to the highest first principles, right? I can go from like downstream all the way upstream, and then I can come back from the upstream and bring it back down to you, and then I can apply it specifically to you. That's what I do with my polymath advisory. That's what I do with my interior translation services. If you're interested, book an interior translation consultation. Let's talk business. Let's talk interior transformation. That's my favorite thing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Correspondence shows that as above, so below. The spiritual planes, the mental planes, are like the physical. As within, so without. That's kind of what we just talked about earlier with mentalism. As the inner world is, the outer world will be as well. That's principle 2. Principle 3, vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The universe is constantly in motion. Stagnation doesn't exist. Stillness is your nature and can be found but only inside of the movement of the cosmos. Think of like a stream. A fish will feel a felt experience of stillness when it is being moved by the flow of the current. Is the fish actually still? No, of course not. But it's perceived stillness. It's felt experience of stillness. This is what happens when you get into the flow state, like I am right now, recording, right? Or when you're walking, or when you're like dancing, or when I'm doing those things. I don't know what gets you into the flow state. I don't know. I don't know what gets you still. Those things get me still. You know what I mean? Or when I'm sitting on the meditation pillow and I'm getting some meditation in. Feel me? Whatever it is. Yeah, I want to change up the color. Ooh. Red vibes? I get down with the red vibes. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's do red. Vibration shows us that movement is always occurring. And so if you're not always moving your body, keeping your body in flow, moving your mind, constantly learning and expanding, moving your spirit, expanding your capacity to hold love, to hold infiniteness, expanding your capacity to be transformed and to transform. If you're not expanding, if you're not growing, you're decaying. Because reality is always moving. So you're either moving up or you're moving fucking down. You know what I'm saying, dog? I think we all know what it's like to be moving down. It doesn't feel good. And the thing is, when you're still, but it's not the present stillness, it's the escaping stillness. It's the running away stillness. That's when we feel bad. Because we're going against our nature of evolving. The thing is, the cosmos evolves and you evolve. Because the cosmos is infinite. And you are infinite. In potential. But in actuality, your manifestation, it's finite. You have an infinite soul that is bound by finitude and by this physical expression. You got this finite body. You got this finite mind. But you got this infinite fucking soul that burns to be all that it is. So what do? You expand your capacity to be more. By becoming. You expand your capacity to express more. Not really to be more. What you are is already infinite. It's already always more than enough. But what you're doing is you're expanding your capacity to hold more, to express more, to give more, to receive more. To give more, to receive more. Movement. Moving your mind through learning, moving your body, keeping your body active, moving your spirit through growth and through creativity. This is the nature of the universe. If you align with it, you'll feel it, and you'll feel good. Vibration is also very powerful when we talk about bringing in a new reality. So the thing is, like, a lot of, spiritual motherfuckers like to talk about frequency. Now, none of them know what they're talking about, but if we want to break down, like, the physics, sympathetic resonance, I mean, when one thing is playing at a frequency and it's tuning, and it's like, ding, whatever, and something like that is the same thing, so like, let's say like tuning forks, whatever, the other fork starts tuning to this tune, and then they start synchronizing, right? So it's like, let's say I activate one tuning fork, and then the other tuning fork's like, yo, the party's active, and then it starts tuning. You know what I'm saying? And then they start creating, there's resonance. There's synchronicity that emerges. You and your desired reality work like that. That thing you desire is the tuning fork, right? You have to put yourself in the proper conditions to receive the tune of that reality, to receive the mentality of that reality. Who am I in that reality? To receive the emotional stability, the emotional regulation. How does my nervous system feel? How am I regulated? What am I doing? What is my mindset? What are my beliefs? How do I feel about my life? Those things, like I said, the inner world. You have to match the inner world of your desired reality to your inner world now. You have to hold those beliefs, those mentalities now. You got to hold that emotional state now. You got to hold that capacity for power now. Now the thing is, if you were already that, you wouldn't have to consciously tune yourself to it. You would just be it. And so for as long as you have to like train your mentality to be something, you're kind of in this process of making sure that the image stays in the mirror. And what I mean by that is, when it comes to consciousness freezing itself into reality, when it comes to mind freezing itself into matter, when it comes to the inner world becoming the outer world, you can think of it like a mirror. But think of it like a mirror with like a 5-second delay. So imagine you like walked into a mirror and you didn't see your reflection for 5 seconds and you're like, what the fuck is happening? And so you're like kind of tripping. And then eventually you see yourself come into the mirror 5 seconds later and you're like, and you're bewildered. And then as you're bewildered, you finally see the mirror start tripping out about like why, you know, like you weren't seeing yourself in the mirror 5 seconds ago. And then eventually you get to the point where you're just staring at yourself bewildered and eventually it catches up. And now you have like a exterior that matches your interior. But really, it's just matching a state that was held for like the last 7 seconds because you were just in so much shock. Now, instead of holding that state in shock, what if you just held that state consciously? Instead of being surprised by the mirror's reflection, what if you knew the mirror was just going to reflect that way and delay that way? Well, then you wouldn't switch up the mirror. You wouldn't be tripping. You wouldn't change the position that you want to see in the mirror every 2 seconds because it's not showing you what you want yet. No. You'd hold steady. That holding of steadiness is how you actually bring it in. Or really, how you get closer to it. Because that thing already exists as a reality, as an infinite potential, but you have to actualize it. And so you have to be the one who holds the mental state, the emotional state of where you want to go for long enough until it is materialized, until your reality is finally showing that back to you. And this is the thing. A lot of like, you know, these manifestation motherfuckers are so like attached to the external. And they're never going to get the things they want because they're too busy judging themselves and judging the universe for not giving them what they want. You guys aren't understanding how this game works. You're not getting what you want because who you're saying you are and what can attract that keeps fucking changing all the time. Your inner world keeps changing. One day you say you are it, the other day you can't be it, the other day you know you can, the other day you say you're full of shit. It's like, which one is it? Which thing do you want the mirror to reflect, dog? That's why you can't really delude yourself in things. If the ego's fighting you, if the ego doesn't believe it, let's go. If your nervous system doesn't open up, but contracts to the statement, it's not good. You know what I mean? Like, this is why, like, I'm all for axioms and for reorientating your consciousness properly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I enjoy it. I'm a practitioner of this. I've done this a lot. You know what I'm saying? I've done this a lot. And this is exactly why I know what works and what doesn't. You know what I mean? If it's already true, all it does is orientate you to truth. Omne est mens, universum mental est. This is already true. It just orientates you to truth. It just aligns you with the frequency. Jaden saying that he's a $1 billion operator who solves $1 billion problems, that's already true internally, because I am. I don't give a fuck about how much money's in my bank account, because that's an external reflection of my interior reality. I think like a billion-dollar operator solving billion-dollar problems. That's the scale of the game that I play on in terms of world impact. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, my nervous system feels pretty chill when I say that, because it's just true. Do you know what I mean? There are certain things that you know are the case internally and eternally. And so you're not worried about what the external is talking about. You're just holding steadfast. And when you hold that frequency, that mental state, that emotional state, for long enough, you move towards the reality where that is physically the case. So that's kind of like the two aspects of vibration in terms of always being in movement, but also like the frequency and the actual like mentality and like the mental science of manifestation. Principle 4, polarity. Oh, polarity, baby. This is my favorite one. This is my favorite Hermetic axiom. All truths are half-truths. All opposites are identical in nature, but varying in degrees. Now, let's talk about all truths are half-truths, because I love this one. Ontological truths about what reality is eternally are the only black and white things that exist. The absolute is infinite. That's just true. The absolute is one, unified, coherent. That's just true. The absolute is an intelligent system, an intelligent intelligence. That's just true. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are certain things that just are the case. Basically, nothing in the polarized universe is like that, though. Because within the polarized universe, we got these two things called polarity. We got this one perspective, we got this other perspective, and then we have, like, the infiniteness that lives in between these two perspectives. And so there's never, like, black or whiteness, really, in the polarized universe. There's always the infinite degrees of gray between black and white. And we're usually operating in those infinite degrees of gray. All truths are half-truths is a cosmological claim that the mind is always going to be finite, and thus it can never actually fully perceive every perspective. And so the truth you think you understand, like from your religion, your religious truth, or your scientific truth, or something like this, right? These things are usually only at one perspective, one level of reality. There's usually always an opposite perspective to hold, right? So there's usually at least always two perspectives to hold. But really, there's always infinite perspectives in between those two. Reality is not binary. It is a spectrum. For some reason, I want to go grab the Tao Te Ching. Give me a sec. I'm feeling opposites right now. Y'all can't see that. It's fine. Tao Te Ching 2. Opposites. When beauty is only a masquerade, it is actually ugliness. And goodness, if it is not sincere, is not really goodness. Existence and non-existence are incompatible. The difficult and the easy are mutually opposed. The long and the short, the high and the low, the loud and the soft, the before and the after. All are opposites. Each reveals the other. The wise are not conspicuous in their actions, or given to much talking. When troubles arise, they are not irritated. They produce, but do not hoard. They act, but expect no praise. They build, but do not dwell therein. Because they do not dwell therein, they never depart. Shout out Lao Tzu, man. Okay. Existence and non-existence are incompatible. The difficult and the easy are mutually opposed. The long and the short, the high and the low, the loud and the soft, the before and the after. All are opposites. Each reveals the other. Like I was saying earlier, the only black and white things are in ontology. Existence or non-existence. It either exists or it fucking doesn't. Which one? Right? Ontologically speaking. But cosmologically, there's so much gray. The difficult and the easy. Like, how can you say something is just like difficult or easy? That's a spectrum. How can you say something just like high or low? It's a spectrum. It's relative. Loud and soft. Before and after. The Kabbalion actually breaks this down very well, too. Let me go grab it real quick. Yo, this isn't where I wanted to go, but, like, shout out the yin yang for real. In the Kabbalion? What? We out here. Let me find this real quick. Okay. The thermometer shows many degrees of temperature, the lowest pole being called cold, and the highest, heat. Between these two poles are many degrees of heat or cold. Call them either, and you are equally correct. The higher of 2 degrees is always warmer, while the lower is always colder. There is no absolute standard. All is a matter of degree. It's all relative. It's all perspective, perception, experience. There is no place on the thermometer where heat ceases and cold begins. Like, if I asked you, yo, bro, what degree does cold start? Like, that's not a question to answer because it doesn't make sense. Do you get what I'm saying? It is all a matter of higher or lower vibrations. The very terms high and low, which we are compelled to use, are but poles of the same thing. The terms are relative. So with east and west. Travel around the world in an eastward direction, and you reach a point which is called west at your starting point. Travel far enough north, and you will find yourself traveling south. Vice versa. Light and darkness are poles of the same thing, with many degrees between them. The musical scale is the same. Starting with C, you move upward. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And so on. The differences between the two ends of the board being the same, with many degrees between the two extremes. The scale of color is the same, between high violet and low red. Large and small are relative, so are noise and quiet. Hard and soft follow the rule. Likewise, sharp and dull. Positive and negative are 2 poles of the same thing, with countless degrees between them. Good and bad are not absolute. We call one end of the scale good and the other bad, or one end good and the other one evil. according to the use of the terms. A thing is less good than the thing higher in the scale, but that less good thing in turn is more good than the thing next below it, and so on. And more or less being regulated by the position of the scale. And so it is on the mental plane. Love and hate are generally regarded as being things diametrically opposed to each other, entirely different, unreconcilable. But we apply the principle of polarity, we find that there is no such thing as absolute love or absolute hate, experientially, in the finite mind. We're talking about the cosmos right now. Absolutely, absolute love is reality. Really, love holds no opposite. Hate is just a good example we use here for the polarized universe. Let's be very clear about that. As much as I love the Kabbalion and Hermetic sciences, it's incomplete. That's why we're here to articulate the completion, you know what I mean? To fill in the gaps. But like he said, or like the three initiates say, there is no such thing as absolute love or absolute hate as distinguished from one another. The two are merely terms applied to the same pole of the same thing. Now really, absolute hate is a distortion of absolute love. It's not that absolute hate has its own, like, existence. It's that hate is the distorted polarity of love. Beginning at any point of the scale, we find more love, or less hate. As we ascend the scale, we find more hate or less love. And as we descend, this being true no matter from what point, higher or low, we may start. There are degrees of love and hate. There is a middle point where like and dislike become so faint that it is difficult to distinguish between them. Courage and fear come under the same rule. The pairs of opposites exist everywhere. Where you find one thing, you find its opposite. The two poles. I mean, we understand this experientially. There are certain people that, like, you don't love, you don't hate, you don't like, you don't dislike them. You just don't care. You just don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And people think not giving a fuck is, like, bad or, like, you don't like them. It's just that, it's like, no, I just can't care because there's no reason for me to. Right? That charge of, like, positive polarity or negative polarity, of love, of support, or of, like, hate and harm, or, you know, people that disagree with you, whatever. Not that harm and disagreement are the same thing, of course, but, you know, just generally speaking. People watch videos on YouTube all the time to leave hate comments. It's like, well, I mean, shit, I still got your attention, right? The fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's like, who cares if they left a good comment or a bad comment? It charged them enough to leave a fucking comment. You know what that means? That's a win in my book, baby. Tell me? Dubs. Yeah. When we apply the principle of polarity to the universe, we see there's so much duality in the polarized universe. But the thing is, these two things don't battle each other. They reveal each other. Now, there are certain polarities, and this is like where the game gets really complex, that are both sacred and real. This is like yin and yang, like the masculine and the feminine principles. But there's other things where it's something real and the distortion, like love and hate, like courage and fear, right? There are certain things in the universe where it's like, no, both these things are equally real ontologically, like mind and heart, or like awareness and existence, or like, can my brain fucking work? Radiation and gravity, right? The expanding principle that goes outward, and the attracting principle that moves inward. These are both equally real and equally sacred. Now the thing is, there's also things like anxiety and excitement. Both real to the human nervous system, both equally valid in the human experience and need to be honored. But only one of them has absolute ontological reality, and the other one is a distortion that exists only in opposition, in contrast to that real thing. This is like your ego. Your ego isn't like an entity that exists. Your ego is the contracting mental principle that is fighting against the truth of your unique self's mind, and it's contracting it, it's composing it. It's saying, fuck you, we want to stay in decay. And you gotta be like, fuck that shit, burn, motherfucker! Burn! Fuck decaying. Because if we're not moving upward, where are we moving? Downward. Now, I'm not here to talk about the 3 types of alchemy. I'm not going to talk about, like, union alchemy and vector alchemy. I'm not going to talk about that shit. If you want my, like, one-to-one services, consulting, I can break down the metaphysics of alchemy. I can break down the 3 mechanisms and the 3 levels. I'm going to make videos about this too, for sure. Definitely not going to do that now, though. But if you want to talk about that, and how to actually use these mechanics, like, practically, like, I've used this 3-step alchemy system of union alchemy, vector alchemy, and placement alchemy, and it's literally changed my fucking life in the last 2 years. It's fucking crazy. Like, I literally made an 11-hour guide. It's fucking 11 hours. It's called Mental Alchemy Mastery. Bitch has 21 modules. Now, the world will probably never see that, because although it's really fucking elite, some of the metaphysics are incomplete and are actually a bit dangerous if not properly held. And so I'm actually gonna, like, remake that sometime. Whatever, I don't know. But holy fuck, Mental Alchemy Mastery is so good. If you're one of my advisees or one of my clients, you can have access to it though, because I don't care about you understanding I could just tell you the things that are wrong with it, you know? You know what I mean? Because most of it's really good, but, like, some of the metaphysical foundation is a bit off, right? And if some of the foundation's off, that means what you built the foundation on might be amazing. Some of it's going to be weak somewhere. I don't want that anywhere in the public. You know what I mean? That's not how Jaden does metaphysics, baby. But, anyways, back to polarity. I've used this system of, like, rigorously distinguishing between alchemy that needs to be held, both, like, flow and form, masculine and feminine, radiance and gravity, rest and work and play, whatever it is, will and surrender, whatever it is. But also between what is true and what is illusion, like love and fear, or love and hate, or anxiety and excitement, or excitement and anxiety, or abundance and lack, scarcity, whatever it is. Now the thing is, when it comes to these illusions, or things that aren't real, we have to understand that we're talking about they don't have any cosmological experience. They don't affect us in real time in the polarized universe. No, they do. What we're saying is that ontologically, these things have no self-sustainingness. And so, like, philosophically, ontologically, they're not real or true. Think of the sun and the moon. The sun shines all day, every fucking day. The moon doesn't have its own light to radiate. The moon reflects the sun's radiation. And that's why at different perspectives and at different points in time, we see the moon look differently, right? But it's really just how its light is reflecting to us that appears different. The moon is still the fucking moon. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's just that our perception of it changes because of its relation to the sun and its relation to where we are, right? The moon is something, but it's like its appearance is always shifting. And since its appearance is reliant on something else, the sun, it is a non-self-sustaining thing that is always changing, always moving, and thus doesn't have any ontological reality, because anything that is ontologically real is eternal and unchanging. It is self-sustaining from that place as well. The sun doesn't rely on anything to be light. It's just the fucking sun. The fuck? Like, the sun is just a G like that, right? Think of like a shadow. A shadow, like, if I said that shadow isn't there, you're seeing things. It's like, you sound like a fucking goofy, right? You sound like one of those spiritual motherfuckers that's like gaslighting themselves into like, oh, you know, everything's perfect, everything's love and bliss, baby, right? And I get this. I used to be one of those spiritual motherfuckers. The thing is, we have to hold the reality of the polarized universe. That we are human beings with finite experiences and a nervous system. And we have the contracting principle of the ego in our mind. And so, that fear we experience, that anxiety we experience, that lack we experience, I'm not telling you to gaslight yourself into thinking they're not real. I'm telling you to actually play a much harder game. Understand that these experiences are quite fucking real right now. And that there's a higher reality that we want to move towards. All I'm saying is hold all of the anxiety and all of the fear and all of the hate and all of this dislike and all of the fucking annoyingness that comes with the human experience. And just hold all of that shit under love. Like, give all of it a big-ass hug. And just be like, yo, I see you. I see you, sadness. You know what? Come give me a hug. You're like, you know what? I see you, judgment. And it's like, I know you're a reflection of my awareness not being as complete as it could be. And so I'm separating instead of unifying. I understand. I'm still going to love you anyway, judgment. I'm calling you to hold the fact that right now, relatively, it is the case, and that absolutely there is so much more that can be experienced. And there is a deeper truth and a higher truth that can be aligned with. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm calling you to hold that paradox. That's what polarity is really about. Holding the paradoxes of the polarized universe. Holding the paradoxes that come within the polarized universe itself. Holding the two things that are true cosmologically and like reflect sacred polarity, like masculine and feminine, like flow form. But also holding the polarity of ontologically real and ontologically distorted, like anxiety and fear. But the thing is that ontological distortion is still a relative experience, a relative reality. And so you have to hold this relative experience and absolute perspective simultaneously, holding that paradox. Holding the paradox of that which is ontologically, eternally true, and that which is temporally moving and evolving through space-time, cosmologically. Like, you're an infinite soul that is love itself, and you're a human being with a nervous system that feels lacking and feels like it needs to make shit happen. Both are true. Hold both, rigorously, devotionally, under love. That's the paradox I'm calling you to hold. It's hard. You can do it. I believe in you. If you're still watching this video 50 minutes in, you can definitely do it. I really believe in you. I fucking know you can. You know what I mean? Let's move on to Principle 5. Rhythm. The tide flows out and in. All things rise and fall. Rhythm compensates. I love rhythm because, in my opinion, it helps us detach from outcomes. I feel like when you put polarity and rhythm together, it helps you realize, oh, the good and the bad, the ups and the downs, the highs and low, the oscillation between will and surrender, between rest and play, between play and work. Oh, this is just how the universe works. I shouldn't feel bad that I'm in rhythm. I shouldn't feel bad that I don't want to work all the time. I shouldn't feel bad that I want to play and that I want to rest. I shouldn't feel bad that I'm not someone who is super structured and rigid all the time, but I like to flow most of the time, but sometimes I can be structured and rigid. That's you, baby. That's your rhythm. You gotta honor that. We've been so, like, brainwashed into linearity in the last, like, few hundred years with the Industrial Revolution, in, like, post-enlightenment thought, and, like, radical individualism. And the thing is, all of these things are amazing, and they've brought amazing things. The problem is they've kept us in this linearity when most of the universe isn't linear. Growth is linear and directional. But a lot of the time, it's really not. It's actually spiralic. It's not like reality is a circle or reality is a line. It's actually that reality is an ascending spiral. Do you know what I mean? You start at the bottom and you go like that. That's why when you feel like you're in cycles, when you keep making the same mistake, you're actually making the same mistake but at a different level. And when you learn, you finally get to the point where, boom, it clicks. That's kind of like when the asymptote finally hits. Asymptotic alchemy, baby. That's metanoia. That's the shift. That's the change in perspective that radicalizes you at the level of being. It's a shift in your awareness so meta, so above, so beyond, that it changes your noia, nous, which is Greek for mind, or consciousness, so fundamentally. Metanoia, which is actually the root for the word repentance, by the way. Repentance was never about dogma or about, feeling bad or feeling like you're a dirty sinner. Jesus sure as hell never meant that. And that's not what the word meant in Greek before Christianity came along on the scene. Repentance was always about shifting your awareness. It was always about changing your mind, changing your heart, and reorientating on the infinite, reorientating on truth, on goodness, on beauty, on love, on service, on growth. When you reorientate on those things, you come back into alignment with your truest nature. And when you're aligned with that nature, evolution happens as a byproduct. Because the thing is, God is always evolving the cosmos. God is always evolving you along in the cosmos. It's just that, are you actually going along with that or not? Are you in the flow of the stream? Feeling the flow state, feeling the stillness of the fish, like Jaden has been for the last 50 minutes? Or are you out of the flow? Feeling the stagnation, feeling the decay. The thing is, like, rhythm is so important because it teaches us that we need to detach from, like, this illusion that, like, if we do this thing, we're gonna be happy. It's like, that's positing that you could possibly be happy all of the time. But that's that's foolishness. Happiness is an emotion that comes for, like, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, a few hours. Then it's gone. And then you're just like, whatever. And then you might be, like, apathetic. And then you might be, like, resentful. And then you might be bitter. And you might be angry. And you might be sad. You might be fucking burning alive to become more. I've never been more fulfilled every fucking day in the last 3 months than I have in my entire fucking life. And I promise you, I've also felt way more sadness and anger and confusion and uncertainty than I've ever felt in my fucking life. And I love it. I'm overjoyed. I go to bed every night being like, yo, I got to fucking kill it for the mission today. And I get to wake up every morning like, yo, I get to kill it for the fucking mission today. Woo! Let's fucking go, baby! God damn! God is love. Holy. I fucking love working. I fucking love my mission, bro. This is my purpose. And you know what? In like 2 hours, I'm gonna be like, there's so much work to do. Fuck! You know what I'm saying? It's like, and we're just holding all of that under love. That's it. Polarity and rhythm are such powerful understandings of the universe because they allow us to stop judging ourselves for being products of the polarized universe and for living that way, and they allow us to just be like, oh, this is how it is. Awesome. And we stop allowing the judgments from the world to weigh us down. Just say, fuck you, world. You don't actually know anything. Because they fucking don't. They don't know shit, dog! God damn, most of these motherfuckers don't know shit. Alright, let's move on. Principle 6. Cause and effect. Now this one's pretty simple. I'm gonna have to make a video about breaking this down more, really. But everything has a cause, and every cause has an effect. And the thing is, most causes and effects in the universe are both causes and effects. And there's only one cause that is not an effect. The first cause. The first mover. The unmoved mover, as Aristotle would say. And we have to recognize that there are mechanics to reality. There are mechanics to transformation. If you want to have an effect, awesome. There's a cause that can get you there. Do you feel what I'm saying? And when we understand this, we can actually approach the universe as scientists and as engineers rather than just like blinding walking through the cosmos, not knowing what the fuck is happening and not getting what we want. You know what I'm saying? We can actually apply consciousness to work towards that. We can understand, okay, well, if I want to get something, if I want a reaction, well, what do I need? An action. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Whoa, polarity, whoa, cause and effect, whoa! Newton was an alchemist, by the way, so. Yo, I should make a video on the psycho-spiritual science of Newton's laws. I'm gonna cook that one. Because, I got some good stuff. I got some... What the fuck is this? Where the hell are my musings at, man? Some BS. Ah, here they are. Let's go. I got some good musings on Newton's equations and the psycho-spiritual implications of them. You know what I mean? Yeah, I be doing this polymath shit, bro. I can't lie. I be doing this interior translation shit. I be doing this interior transformation science shit. You know what I mean? Do this. So, cause and effect. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Everything in the universe has an effect. I mean, every effect has a cause, and every cause is also an effect. And so you have to be like, okay, well, I have this current mindset, let's say. Well, where did this mindset come from? This mindset had a cause. Someone gave me this mindset. Well, who gave me the mindset? Okay, well, where did they get it from? Or why did they even give it to me? It's like, when you ask questions, you can actually start going back and finding the different causes. It's like, well, what does this mean? And well, why does this happen? And what are the implications of that? And as you ask enough questions, you can go back to the causal chain long enough. And if you walk further enough upstream, you'll get to that point where you've reached the first cause. Where you've reached the ontological cause. Focus! You reach the ontological cause. Which is like, oh, this is the thought. This is the assumption. This is the cause. The isness that all this movement happened from. Now, in the cosmos, the first cause is God, of course, the creator of the universe. And the cosmos is in this like cycle of cause and effect, right? And really, like I said, it's a spiral, right? This happens in your mind. Your beliefs, your assumptions about what things are, what something is the ontology. And your epistemology, your thought process, and your ethics, your action, how you act out that thought process. Those are downstream. Those are effects, right? I have a video about this on the. It's called an ontological diagnostic on AI's true issue. A lot of people in the AI space, in the tech space, think that AI has epistemic or ethical problems, right, in the AI's thought process or how the AI acts. That's wrong. Those are just downstream of the actual problem. Wait, hold up, I got a sketch on this. Give me a second. Let me find it. Damn it! Where the fuck is this sketch at? Some BS. I always have such a hard time finding this one. Ah, here it is. Nice. So, like I said, everyone is down here worrying about, oh, AI ethics. You see how there's 5 people here, but there's not, like, much oil here in the water? Oh, AI epistemology. There's 3 people here now. I'm up here, and I'm like, yo, guys, pull the fuck up, please. Because the problem is up here, gang. The problem is that people think that AI struggles with, like, executing processes of how the AI should know things or how it should act from that place. People think AI has a problem with, like, how it should go about thinking about being helpful or about, like, how it acts helpful. No. The AI doesn't know what knowing is. The AI doesn't know what actual helpfulness fucking is. So that's AI ontology, right? Now the thing is, AI's ontology, what the AI believes about what these things are, what the AI is itself, its architecture, its operating system, right? An AI's operating system is its ontology. That's what it is. Its ontology about what things are, it's like assumptions about knowing or about helpfulness or about people or about anything. That's what its ontology is, the base assumptions of the thing that everything else permeates from. Right, and so like ontology kind of has like 2 facets. There's existence itself, eternal ontology. But then there's kind of like the ontology of the finite mind, or like a constructed ontology, which can be an operating system, or an architecture, or a belief system. Do you know what I'm saying? And that is not the first cause eternally, but it's the first cause that set this temporal thing into motion, into movement. You know what I'm saying? Now, even still, that first cause has its own cause before it. You know what I mean? It's still an effect. But, you know, there are levels to the game. And so we have to recognize that if we never get out of this, cycle, if we never get out of this cause and effect loop, cause and effect, 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 if we never go far enough back to the first cause, to the ontological assumption, the ontological distortion, nothing's ever going to fucking change. And that's why I'm so devoted in my work with helping people see the ontological distortions in AI, but also in their own minds, in institutions, right? Like, honestly, basically all the work I do is that everyone has the same problem. No one's got ontology right, and it's a problem. Our systems don't got it right, it's a problem. Our minds don't got it right, it's a problem. So I'm just like, alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build a fuck ton of shit, and I'm gonna teach a fuck ton of shit, so that is the case for as few people as possible. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what I'm on. If we never step out of like the inertia loop of cause and effect, 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 we never see that first cause. And seeing it and detaching from it is how we can actually change the first cause and thus change the cause and effect cycle. So that's principle 6. Principle 7, gender. This is my favorite one. Actually, I lied. It's my second, right? Polarity is my favorite. Gender and polarity are really like, polarity and gender are really like 1A, 1B, though, kind of thing. The principle of gender says that all things in the universe have their masculine and feminine properties. The masculine principle is the activating principle, the discerning principle, the initiating principle. The masculine principle is also the structuring principle. It is the holding principle that frames and sets. It is still, it structures. The feminine principle is that which reflects, that which radiates, that which that which attracts through gravity. There we go. My brain was just like not working. The feminine principle is that which expands. The feminine principle is that which generates and creates. The feminine principle is that which actualizes potential into actuality. And so the masculine and feminine principles play out inside everything in the universe, because it's these two principles that show us the oneness of the Creator manifest dually within this polarized universe. And so denying either one of them is foolishness, because everyone has both. Because bringing both together is how we know the oneness of the Creator in this dual manifestation. Think of a straw. I don't have a straw lying around. Who the fuck does? A straw is one hole, but it has two ends you can perceive it through. It's like that. There are these two ways that the Creator is perceived by in our mind. And the thing is, distinguishing these two ways is extremely powerful in our finite minds, because polarity helps us with expanding. Whoa, what? Almost like this was like made on purpose. Almost like reality is intentional and lawful. Almost like God is infinite intelligence itself. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who knows? All change, all generation, gender, that's what gender comes from. Gender, like the etymology of gender, comes from parts, like generation. It's the parts that make something up. Gender is the parts, the two parts, that come together to make up a new whole. Remember earlier when we were talking about the magnets? North Pole, South Pole. The two parts, two genders, boom, coming together, greater electromagnetic field. Man and woman, boom, relationship, boom, family, whatever it is. Your own internal masculine and feminine principles coming together to transform you, to transform the world. Polarity manifests in the individual, it manifests in a couple, a relationship between two people, it manifests in a system at large. This is relational systems interpretation. When we don't understand that we need to hold both polarities sacredly, this is what union alchemy is, right? Like the first steps of the three types of alchemy, union alchemy, the three mechanisms, union alchemy, vector alchemy, and placement alchemy. They are in order for a reason, because you first have to bring the two opposites together so that you can actually generate, you can actually create the space and the energy to perform vector alchemy. And vector alchemy is directional. It shifts us. It shifts our mind. It shifts our perspective from illusion to truth, from finiteness to infiniteness. You feel what I'm saying? And so we create the space and the energy to even perform movement and direction with this union alchemy, bringing the two together. Bringing the masculine and the feminine principles together is how we do anything. Remember that mental alchemy mastery guide I told you guys about? Part 3 of mental alchemy mastery is called the 11 weapons of the alchemist. And it's a 12-module guide on like 11 practical tools, right? So like the first one is, module 0 is masculine and feminine healing, because those are the two prerequisites that you need in order to act out any of the tools. And so the tools are, I'm honestly like forgetting what they are right now. I must have just like check real quick. Why is my school like? Why am I signed out? What the fuck is happening right now? School, stop being annoying. Okay, so we have module 1, paradox. So that's the first tool. 2 is gratitude. 3 is courage. 4 is questions. 5 is prayer. 6 is meditation. 7 is breathwork, 8 is art, 9 is teaching, 10 is compliments, and 11 is laughter. And I talked about how all of these 11 weapons, these technologies, have personally helped me with my alchemical journey and my mental alchemy journey, and how you can actually go about applying them. So, like I said, you don't have access to that unless you, like, pay me money. And then I'll give it to you as, like, a bonus. But, like, I'm not selling it because it's not good enough to be sold. But, nor is it good enough to be publicly transmitted. But I will be remaking it, okay? But the principle of gender helps us realize that without bringing these two opposites together, we don't even have the space. We don't even have the energy to actually go about performing change, to go about shifting what's potential to what's actual. The spiritual motherfuckers that are out here talking about, you know, you're just too masculine, you gotta be more feminine, or like, you know, divine masculine and feminine balance. They don't understand that balance isn't about 50-50. Balance is about proper placement depending on how the creator made you. So like proper balance for Jaden is a oscillation of like, see, this is the thing. The game is too deep to even talk about this on the surface level like this, because masculine and feminine like energy really manifests differently throughout like 3 levels. We're talking about like flow versus form, which is level 1. Then we're talking about active versus receptive, level 2, which is kind of like how that energy moves. Flow and form is how the energy is structured. Active and receptive is how it moves. And then there is depth and there is breadth, which is where it wants to flow. And, yeah, I'm not going to explain that here because it's just too annoying and I've been yapping for an hour and I got to go take a piss. But the game is so much deeper. And if we're too busy collapsing polarity, not understanding and distinguishing these things, we're going to be too busy seeing how things work for other people and then judging ourselves because it's not working for us. It's like, yeah, because that's them and not you, motherfucker. The fuck? And this is why interior science is usually a lonely journey, because most people can't get someone else to observe their inner world. Because most people don't have the skill to observe inner worlds. Luckily, Jaden does. And so if you would like help with getting better at observing your inner world and understanding it better, I can help you do that. With a one-time interior translation consultation, if you'd like my advisory 90-day intensive retainer, or 90-day intensive container, which is more of a restoration process, like a diagnostic and then restoration. There's also my annual Inner Circle personal advisory, which is more of like a prevention. It's like diagnostic restoration, but then more of a prevention container than anything else. There's also the Guild's advisory, if you're an institutional body, or if you'd like the Guild's specific advisory rather than like my personal one-to-one. And those come with slightly different things. Regardless, Jaden has the metaphysical expertise. Jaden has the spiritual sight training. Jaden has the metaphysical embodiment and the practitioner and the science laid out. And so I see things very clearly. And I say it how it is, if you're open to receiving that. If you are, you know where to find me. Links in the description. So that was the 7 principles, the 7 Hermetic principles. Principle 1, mentalism. Principle 2, correspondence. Principle 3, vibration. Principle 4, polarity. Principle 5, rhythm. Principle 6, cause and effect. Principle 7, gender. Explained in plain English. Hope you enjoyed. Coherentia. No. Fuck that axiom. Oscillatio subtensione. Coherentia suppressura.